So now we're going to make a foil dinner. We're going to make a simple one with hamburger. If you want to grab me the sausage, we had a little bit of leftover sausage, so we're going to use some of that too. So we put our hamburger right there, right in the middle of the foil. A little breezy today. And got some green beans. We're going to throw some green beans in there. And obviously, if you're using this for a large group, you just want to set up a station and have them go down the line and put what they want in their foil, in their meal.
So we just want to add a little bit of sausage for some flavor on top.
And I normally would never buy canned potatoes, but potatoes take a while to cook. Hamburgers do not. So if you want your potatoes to be done and your hamburgers to not be hockey pucks, buy canned potatoes.
Oh, one of the really interesting things with cooking in foil like this over the fire is you can cook all sorts of things in foil. If we were to replace the hamburger with some smoked sausage, you could throw that in there. And one of the really neat things with the smoked sausage is everything here is safe to eat just as it is. With the hamburger, we've got to make sure that gets cooked all the way through.
And for moisture, you can use Italian dressing or cream of mushroom soup. With the hamburger, I prefer cream of mushroom soup. So a couple spoonfuls of that.
And then on top of everything, we want to add a little butter to it.
A little pat of butter. So it's like frying everything in there. You're going to take your foil, take your ends, fold it over. You don't want it too tight because you want some air to circulate in there.
Now Lisa, after the scouts make these and we have 15 of them on the fire, how do we know whose is whose?
If you put your name, your initials on one end, you can do it that way.
So we'd use like a big giant Sharpie and write your
Big,
initials on it.
gigantic Sharpie.
Big letters. You need to make sure it's big letters. If you try to write real fine on there, they might disappear when they're in the fire.
Dinner. And to have dessert with our dinner, Rick's going to show us how to do a baked apple.
The baked apples are real simple. What we're going to do with the baked apples is we take a Granny Smith apple. I'm going to pull the core out here. Let me move things around a little bit so you can see. So just take the apple core, twist it around in there, pull the core right out. Then we're going to put the apple on the first piece of foil that we use. We're going to add just a little bit of cinnamon in there, maybe a little more. We're going to add some butter, and we're going to alternate a little bit here. So we're going to stick some butter inside there. We'll just take the apple core there, push the.
And as you can see, all this is prepackaged.
Prepackaged meaning we took everything out of the packages at home.
Repackaged, I should say. Cram some raisins in there.
Oh, sure, we can add raisins to this. How about if you dump a couple in my hand so I don't get the bag all? Just a few. Way too many. Now, I'll give you a little secret. You throw all of this stuff in here, it's going to leak out the bottom. So if you have some extra raisins or something, just shove them in down around the bottom and they'll get all nice and gooey with the butter that we put in here. Set this over there. Now with the baked apple, we're going to wrap the first one pretty tight around the apple. And we're going to wrap it nice and nice and tight. And then the second one, we're going to make a handle out of it. We're going to pull all the sides up and twist it. So we've got a nice handle there, which will help us get it out of the fire. This you might turn in the fire, but you don't need to turn it over. And if you look at the eggs in a bag, the foil dinner, and dessert, we've covered 2 of our 3 meals without having to cook in any pots or pans, except for the pot to boil the water in.
I will give you a hint while we're talking about foil dinners. Reynolds heavy duty foil. It holds up in the coals. Never had a problem with it. So you want to make sure you've got Reynolds heavy duty. I like the longer version because it's a whole lot easier for kids to wrap their meals.
If you go to the Dollar Tree and buy the cheap foil, you'll be paying for it later. So
Yeah.
spend the money now. You ready to put these in the fire?
Ready to put them in the fire.
All right. All right, so we're going to get our foil dinners out of the fire now. Yeah. So we're just going to put our foil dinners right in a pan here. And the apples are easy to come out. Hopefully they'll both be done at the same time.
So open these very carefully. Steam will escape.
Now, you can have the foil dinners, you could just set them right on a good sturdy plate if you have it, and eat it right out of the foil. That's one of the beauties of these. And then the inside is where it's going to be really hot. Oh, and everything's just...
And smell it.
Oh, yeah. Come on in here, John. Now, some people may think that just looks like a mess, but to me it looks like a really good dinner. You ready to try some of this, Lisa?
Sure. Would you like a fork?
I would. Take this burger here.
Oh, it's nice and soft.
Yeah. Bit of corn, green beans.
Hot.
That's really good.
That one turned out good.
It's really hot.
Try a potato.
All right. So, let's try our dessert. So again, you want to be careful with the Scouts opening these because there will be a lot of steam if you don't let them set and rest for a while.
Smells cinnamon and apples.
Oh, look at that baked apple. That looks amazing. And it's nice and soft. All right. Pull some pieces off of that. There we go.
And the raisins.
It's almost like an apple pie without the crust. That's really good baked apple.
Yum.
And I like the Granny Smith apples for this, but you can use whatever apples are plentiful and cheap at the time at the grocery store. So that's foil dinner and dessert.
Life is short. We're going to eat dessert first.